Hi guys, so we're Team 7. I'm Natalie Samper, this is Katie Schaefer, and this is Charles Boema, and this is Tater. As you can see here, this is Radiator Springs, the sweetest town along Route 66, and its classic characters. Each character in the town has its own unique skill, and for example, Lainey McQueen is the fastest driver, and Mater is the best backwards driver. But we have a new resident coming to town, which happens to be Mater's cousin, Tater. And Tater also has a special skill. He dances. So for our marketing value, we are looking for our target audience to be kids 3 and over. And also, his marketability is in the fact that he's a new character to an already well-known storyline, so it's easy to incorporate him to something that we already know well. But since he's a new character, there's new adventures, and it's going to appeal to hopefully more to kids. And it's also a toy car with a twist, so it's not something that is already on the market. During our concept generation, our original idea was to have something like a toy car, but that connected wirelessly through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to your iPod, and then it started dancing along with the beat. But due to time constraints and also money, we had to drastically simplify the concept, and what we have now is just a toy car that you flip a switch and it initiates the dance sequence.
All right, so this is our final 3D model. This is our final 3D model that we created in Creo. And there were 3 main types of components that we used for the creation of this. There were the 3D printed parts, the parts that were cut from acrylic, and also those that were purchased from a local hobby store. So I'm going to take you through some of the components and how we modeled them. This was the main motor that we used, and it's next to the actual motor that we bought. The base for the motor, as well as the gears and some of the links, are modeled there, and those are the 3D printed parts. The base, we initially wanted to 3D print the base, but we ran into a volume constraint, so we ended up making the base out of acrylic, and those are the laser cut pieces. This is the final. This was the original SLA build. Then we took it through finishing. We sanded it before painting. It, added a primer coat to it, and finished paint so that beam would really look like a beam, so that Tater would really shine. And this is our assembled base, as well as the assembled base with the motor. I'm going to pass it to Katie for assembly.
All right, so I'll be telling you a little bit about how the internals of it comes together and how it works. So as you can see, we put together with the motor on the inside along with many of the SLA printed parts. And you can kind of see the view from how we put together. The top actually pops off, and that's how we got the assembly together. So go ahead. So here you can kind of see a cutaway view of the inside of what it looks like. So we have the motor, which is that dark block within the center, and that turns a disc, which allows for a rotary motion. And it goes through the link, which connects to the top, and that kind of pulls the shell, the outside part of the truck here, up and down. And it also allows for a little bit of forward and back motion, which we did with a slot connection in the back of the truck, and also springs in the front to kind of get that bouncing motion for the dancing that I want Tater to have. So go ahead. And so we have a bit of a motion demo with everything assembled. And that's the idea of how we want it to look when we connect the circuit. So you can see it's going up and down as the thing rotates. And now you can kind of see how it works from the inside and how we get that disc to rotate and pull the shell up and down with the compression springs incorporated. So this is how the final part looks. And we also have a short video demo of how it ended up working. So we want to show you real briefly how it looks without the shell attached, showing you that the inner components rotate and work together. Maybe. A little bit. We'll show you the inside, and then we'll show you the full assembly coming together. Unfortunately, one of the complications we did run into was we were missing an SLA part. For some reason, we didn't get it with the rest of our parts, and that's going to be the ball and slot that goes in the back. So it kind of limited the motion a little bit. So you'll see it move a little bit, but with the full shell assembly, it's going to get stuck a little bit. But we can do our best to show you. So there you can see the motion on the inside of the motor rotating the two discs, one on each side. And here you can see Tater dancing. And so the way that works is you connect, you close the switch on the back here, and as we said before, some of the early concept design that we wanted is where you have like an external remote, be it like a separate remote control or something that you can connect through your iPhone or whatever app you have and get that thing to dance on your own, make it more interactive. So I can kind of show you how it works. It bounces a little bit. So, and then that's how you get Tater to dance. Any questions from the audience?
Is it front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, or?
Oh, you do see wheels on here if that's what you're asking about, but it doesn't actually power to drive along. That might be somewhere where we want to take in the future where we can incorporate multiple controls on it. But for the time being, there's just the one switch to allow it to dance.
From a parental perspective, how would they change the batteries?
You can actually, when you open it up in the front here, you can reach into here and remove the shell, and then that way you can take the batteries out because they're sitting right inside here.
And we initially had battery packs that you could pull the batteries. We initially had battery packs that you could pull the batteries out and replace them pretty easily, but those didn't seem to be working when we were finally putting this together, so we had to glue them to the base. But for future assemblies, we could put a battery pack in there where you could just take the battery out pretty easily.
And what was your inspiration for this project?
The inspiration is I've seen like different alarm clocks or different toys that are associated with being attached to music or your iPod, but they generally just like my inspiration was the little sunflower that just moves its leaves, like it's a really basic motion. So we were trying to do that, but like make it more user friendly and make it more so that you can control it. At the end of the day, we end up getting that as well. But for future concept generation, we want to be able to control how it moves and how you can make it dance to music.